Welcome everybody to the SFBN Twitch channel, the Sim Football Broadcast Network. I am your host and commentator, Mad Dad. We are here because I have unlocked the secret to the quarterback programming based on traits and archetypes. And I believe if you run my set, you will see what I mean by this. And what do I mean by this? I mean that all quarterbacks have a programmed set of options based on their traits and archetypes. There are a list, I believe, of 5 options programmed into every quarterback, and based on his traits and archetypes, those options are listed 1 through 5, depending on a combination of his archetype and his traits. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's take, and this is why I've always believed and tried to make my set, and I think I've unlocked it with this set, that you do not have to edit and should not edit quarterback traits. Because if you look at the real life NFL and then how that player is rated in Madden, and then and I know it doesn't happen the same way in Madden and in real life, but the idea of what I am trying to do is get the realistic gameplay with slow sim that you would get in real life with any quarterback, any running back, but you're going to get different results, and it's going to be harder to win if you have a lesser roster, right? The better your roster, the better players you have with the better traits, and it's not all about overalls, because overalls, guys, I hate to tell you, but overalls can be skewed greatly by athletic traits. So they might have a receiver that is rated a 72, but he's only got a 68 or a 71 catch because he's very fast, very agile, and maybe he runs some pretty good routes, or maybe he doesn't even run great routes. Maybe it's just that he's a great athlete and a returner, and he's got all these, and then another thing is his awareness. A little bit of awareness will jump up an overall quite a bit, right? And quarterbacks can be very low rated because they're not very athletic, but if you look at what they need to be a quarterback: throw power, short, medium, deep accuracy, throw on the run, play action, throw under pressure, break sack, all that stuff. Maybe that those certain attributes aren't really rated that much worse than, say, a starting quarterback. But yet his traits are oblivious or trigger happy. And a lot of people have said that you can't have oblivious, you can't have paranoid, that they're unplayable. Now, and you have to have the throw ball away trait. Now, what I've discovered about the throw ball away trait is all the throw ball away trait does is take the throw ball away from the options, from the top 3 options from a quarterback based on his archetype, to the bottom 2 options of the quarterback based on his archetype, right? And maybe his traits. So if he's oblivious, he's, and he doesn't have the throw ball away trait, well, he's going to hold the ball. Now, what are the 5 options, I believe, that are programmed based on all the hours I've spent, all the quarterback play I've watched and looking at it? The 5 options, I believe, are programmed into all of the quarterbacks are these, not in any order, but just these: throw to the open target, hold ball in the pocket and wait for an open target, hold ball but move outside of the pocket waiting for an open target, run with the ball, and throw the ball away. Okay? Now, what I believe, like I said, throw ball away raises this option to its top 3 based on the quarterback traits and its archetype. Not having the trait lowers it to the bottom 2 options based on the other traits and archetype. Now, the other thing that I've noticed and why I have decided to turn on and build my set around having intentional grounding on was for this major reason. Watching all of it, and I firmly believed in turning it off because of completion percentage, right? But what I started to discover is even when I got the completion percentage down, the reason the completion percentage was down was because the quarterback was throwing the ball away between 5 to 12 times a game, and really those were the only incompletions in the entire game. He wasn't throwing off target passes. There was maybe 1 or 2 pass breakups, or maybe it was an interception, right? It wasn't really true incompletions or pass breakups at enough. It was just simply because of the throw ball away trait. Now, with the he was just simply chucking the ball away, right? Especially with the throw ball away trait on and the intentional grounding off. It really became the number 1 option or number 2 option no matter what. Even if he was scramble outside the pocket and he had room to run, you would see him throw away. You would see him in the pocket and get under pressure, and there would be a check down that's open, or he's on the move and he's open, and instead of making that throw, even attempting it, and I'm not looking for a completion there. Maybe the defense gets it there. But my point is that he wouldn't make that option. He would throw the ball away instead of running it, clearly having yardage. Even if it's, now we had a theory about archetypes that the field generals will never run. No, not in my set. This set is all about their different traits. And everybody will run if that is the best option, right? That's what I was trying to get. And it's not every time, right? I'm trying to make it real. So not every option is going to occur every time. There are 5 options, and the quarterback will use all 5 options. They just use them at a different rate based on the ratings in their archetype traits, and also like their awareness. And if they're more aware and they have better break sack and all that stuff, they are going to, those options may differ from game to game and scenario. That's what I'm trying to get. More realistic overall quarterback play, right? And so what you're getting is with like somebody that is oblivious to pressure. And this is something I would like any of you that watch this to go ahead, and this is kind of a little homework assignment. If you watch the YouTube videos and set up the exact setup that I'm running, from the auto subs to XP sliders to the player computer sliders to penalties, run the entire setup the way it is. And then do your homework and pay attention to the quarterbacks. Look at the quarterbacks that you're playing in each game and what their traits are, what their overall is, but also as a quarterback, what their actual quarterback like attributes are. What's their throw power, their throw on the run, their awareness, their throw under pressure, their break sack, their short, medium, and deep accuracy, all those things. And then look at their traits. They're oblivious. Do they have throw ball away? Are they a aggressive decision maker, conservative decision maker, ideal? What's their sense pressure? And then based on that, this is what I want you to look for. These are my theories. Oblivious guys are simply going to be guys that don't know the pressure's there. So they're going to more than likely sit in the pocket based on their archetype now. They're going to sit in the pocket, or they're going to, if they're a scrambler, they're going to move right away, no matter whether they sense the pressure or not. They're going to have a tendency to move earlier, right? Or if they're more of a pocket guy, or balanced, they're going to tend to sit in the pocket and hold the ball, even if there's clear pressure there that they would normally move away from if they had a different trait than oblivious. This does not mean that, and that may mean they may take more sacks. That may mean they take more hits while they're throwing the ball. Now, what I'm trying to do, what I wanted to do, and what I believe I accomplished in my set was that their incompletions, they're going to take more sacks. They're probably going to throw more interceptions because they're going to be holding the ball and they're going to be throwing the ball while getting hit more. And that's going to cause bad passes. That's going to cause tipped balls. That's going to cause more fumble opportunities, higher sack rates, right? Whereas paranoid. paranoid guys, and then of course, like if he's, let's go back to oblivious real quick. If he's conservative and oblivious, he's going to be quick to check the ball down or make the first open read no matter what the pressure situation is, right? Depending on, again, combination of a few other things. None of this is a exact science that's going to happen every single down, every game. It's like kind of rolling a bunch of dice together and getting a combination for each play. So you might get some of the similar things happening from play to play or game to game, and you might never see the same combination twice in a couple of games. It's a kind of a dice roll game with the algorithms and programming, especially I feel like in my set. But I would like you guys to do your homework on this too and let me know. This is a theory that I have, a hypothesis that I believe is got enough data now that I think it's true with my own eyes. So I would like you as the community to kind of take a look at this using my set, because I do not do it. And I tried to make my set where the quarterbacks would all play accordingly and they were all playable. And I guess my first point is that, like, you get quarterbacks like Cincinnati, right, last year or a couple years ago when Joe Burrow got hurt and they still made the playoffs. That quarterback, I believe, is rated like a 52 or 55 in here. Well, in normal Madden, even in normal Sim, if you have anything, his traits and his ratings, you can't play him. He wouldn't do anything. Now, in mine, he should be able to be playable. You are not going to score a lot of points. You are not going to have a real high completion percentage necessarily. You are going to he is going to get sacked more. He is going to throw more interceptions more than likely. The offense is going to be hard. It's going to even. Now, if he's in the perfect situation, then he should be able to have good games and possibly, make things work. That's the thing. If the better the team around the quarterback, the less likely his traits and archetype and will affect his negative plays, or they'll be able to make up for his inability to make a lot of plays or overcome his mistakes more often than not, right? That's how it should be. But it still should be a struggle for that team, right? Because he's not a high quarterback. That's what I'm essentially going for. So then with like paranoid, especially with conservative, it's going to be a check down Charlie, right? And if he's got the throw ball away trait, that paranoid, it's going to be throw to open target, throw ball away. If he's paranoid and conservative, if he can't get the check down or something short right away, he's going to choose to throw the ball away. And now with the settings, with intentional grounding on, it's going to be more realistic throwaway. He might not be able to get out of the pocket, but he's going to throw the ball away. Now, it's not using what we would use to hit the throw ball away button that would tell the computer that we're throwing it away inside the pocket and give us penalty. What this happens to do that makes that I really appreciate that ended up happening, that I was hoping would happen, is he throws the ball to a receiver over their head so it's uncatchable and goes out of bounds. So it's in the area, past the line of scrimmage, in the area, and it fits in the rules, but it's still a throwaway because it instead of just chucking it at a receiver where, like we would if we're playing or where it would normally happen, and it ends up being a pass breakup or an intentional. They're actually throwing the ball away within the rules, right? And that's what I was hoping for, and that's what you're getting. That's going to happen more. Now, if he's paranoid and aggressive, what's going to end up happening is he's going to force the ball into double coverage at a much higher rate, much earlier in the down than an oblivious guy ever would, or ideal or normal guy would, right? Same thing with trigger happy and aggressive. He's going to want to get rid of the ball. He's also trigger happy isn't just about throwing the ball. If he is a running quarterback archetype and does not have throw ball away trait in, he's trigger happy. He's a balanced or scrambling quarterback with aggressive, let's say aggressive and trigger happy mobile. His list, and no throw ball away trait, his list of of options is going to be throw ball to open target, run with the ball, you know, and then probably run with ball outside the hold ball, run with it outside the pocket to the open target, and then back to run the ball if there's no open target, and you know, then at the very end, it's going to be, because he's not already outside the pocket, he's not going to go back in the pocket, so that whole ball in pocket option isn't maybe an option really for him hardly ever. Maybe it's always the fifth option. Throw ball away becomes 4, because he's really never going to sit in the pocket. If he's scrambling, as soon as he feels pressure, he's trigger happy. If he doesn't feel like he can throw the ball right away, he's going to then move outside the pocket. And then if he has room to run right away as he moves outside, he should run. If there is somebody open immediately as a trigger happy and aggressive, he is going to throw the ball. Now, it might not be the open guy down the field. Maybe his first guy he sees when he moves outside the pocket is down the field and there's double coverage there, but that's the first guy he sees. He's trigger happy. He gets rid of it because maybe there's a defender he thinks he sees that's close within a few yards, so instead of trying to run it, he doesn't see the check down guy because he's low awareness or something. So these are all the different things you need to kind of consider when you're watching it. But what should not happen is, what you shouldn't see is quarterbacks being completely unplayable. Are they going to, and I want you to pay attention to the team that's around them. And not just overalls, guys. Study what these players do. What are the offensive linemen strong? Or are they really good pass and run blockers, but they got like 82 and 79 and 84 and 85 strength? Nobody's eight. And then all your defensive linemen are all 88s and up at strength, even if they're lower. Guess what's going to happen? Even though they're good at technique, the strength is going to overpower them from the defensive line a lot quicker, even though they have good technique. They're not going to be able to hold up against the strength. Football is still about speed, strength, power, then technique. So yes, they're going to be, instead of getting initial block sheds, maybe you only get, and instead of maybe getting a 3 or 4 second pocket or a 5 second pocket, if you've got the same ratings with the offensive lineman with a 90 or something, or better strength, or an 88 strength or better against that same defensive lineman, and the strength, the offensive lineman either has the same strength or better strength, well, then you're going to get a longer time in the pocket or a longer time from that offensive lineman to be able to hold his block than the guy that's the weaker strength with the same exact pass blocking attributes, right? So these things, overalls, are kind of like a numbers will lie to you thing. There's much more that goes into it, and how I've set why I've made my sets the way it is and what I'm looking for. It is about stats too, because stats will make it crazy. I understand that. But it's not all about stats with me. It is really about trying to watch the gameplay and making sure that the reasons why the things are happening during the game are understandable and will make sense if you can look at the rosters and then think about it on any given Sunday, realistic football background of not just this season, but all of football history, all the games you've ever watched with good quarterbacks, bad quarterbacks. Teams still win games, and they still lose games. So just because you're a really good team doesn't mean you can't be beat by a really bad team and have a really bad day. Right? That's the other thing here, is you want parity. You don't want the same scores and same yardage and same rushes and same play and all this stuff every time. You're looking for parity. So that's kind of something I'm hoping you guys can do some homework on. Appreciate it. Give us a follow and a like. Hit us up on also when we upload videos on YouTube. Appreciate it all. Give me your feedback on this. I hope you guys have fun playing with this set. And if you're looking for how to set up my entire set that I run for CPU versus CPU slow sim, it is on the YouTube channel. That is at SFBN _24-7 on YouTube. And there's 2 videos there. They take you less than 20 minutes total to watch them both, and you'll have the full setup. And then, like I said, run that stuff and give me feedback. You know, let me know what's going on, what you see, and if my theory is right. Like I said, with this set, hopefully all these quarterbacks, they will be playable. You should see a parity. There should be a vast difference in the better traded quarterbacks. Even if and for example, if you have a really highly rated quarterback that's really good, and let's say he's got ideal pocket awareness but aggressive decision making, he still should probably, first of all, he should be throwing the ball while getting hit much more often than just throwing the ball away and having incomplete passes, whereas maybe he would have moved or thrown the ball if he had ideal or conservative decision making, right? Secondly, he's going to throw the ball down the field and into double coverage at a much higher rate than a quarterback that has ideal or conservative, and he's going to take less checkdowns and maybe run the ball more if he's got the archetype and the attributes that allow him to run more. Again, if you take the 5, what I believe are the 5 quarterback options programmed in, these can, you know, so it's all things to consider. Appreciate all you guys' support and views on the videos always, and the feedback. We will be streaming again and probably get more videos up, I'm sure, today. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.